We're shedding our masks and breaking down walls. Hell, we may even drop our drawers. That's right. We're going commando with Angela and Dana. Hi, my name is Dana Sardano, and this is Angela DiMarco, and we are Going Commando. Going Commando is a little show that we put together because we understand the importance of authenticity and the importance of being who you are, embracing that, bringing it to the world, and celebrating it together. And we do that, and we're hoping by doing so, we give you permission to do the same. So good morning. Good morning, Miss Angela. How are you?
Good morning, Dana. Good for you. As you're talking, you were ready, and I'm like
I didn't realize that. I know. You're like ready to go. And did you see me? Like I stuttered. I stopped. I'm like, shit. She's wiping her nose, but commando. So sorry about that. That was not intentional.
It's all good. It's all good. My nose is always running, and it's like because it's fall here, and there's like still landscaping, so there's still shit flying through the air, and it is just like it's gorgeous, but it's like allergy season. So, hey, how y'all doing? Hey. What I have to talk about, first of all, is I know we're going to get into what our whole season is and all that stuff, but it's really, it's about this. I'm not worthy. No, I am worthy. I am worthy. Okay. So guys, we have been, we're in season 7 of Worthiness, and we're talking about this, all the things that we kind of like come through in this book. And this book is so fucking gorgeous. Oh, it's beautiful. My God.
Beautiful.
I can't wait. You should get your copy today.
I know. I should get a Ubuntu today too.
Yeah, I'll talk about that one in a second. We're just making books all over the place. So anyway, guys, so what happened is this is a story, and it is 16 stories that I wrote that are short stories of different experiences in my life, trials and tribulations, divorce, miscarriage, PTSD from 9/11, how Pearl Jam is involved in my life, that they make an appearance in practically every story. My son had a febrile seizure, and like how I've handled that in the aftermath. And what I love about it is that this is my own way of working through my stuff. Like I wrote for me. I wrote for me to integrate what I learned from the experiences and stuff. And because the concepts are general enough, like the people and places are specific, but a lot of people have experienced divorce, whether it's your parents or you, or a friend or whatever. And it just gives an inside view on the emotions and how to work through them and transmute them. And I think I've done a pretty stellar job of doing so, if I don't say so myself, evidenced by this beautiful life that I'm living. So my hope is that by sharing my stories, just as Dana says in the opening, that we are living out loud and being authentic and hoping that we help you do the same. Because when you can be in touch with yourself and have your whole system aligned and your stuff worked out, and compassion and empathy for people around you, and realizing you're the creator of your own reality, all of these things, I mean, life really truly becomes magical. Like I can't even with how magical life is today. I can't even. So Dana painted here. You see some behind me, but I did a spread. That's what she said. Of the paintings, but like,
oh my God!
I know.
I do it?
Dana did these, and they're absolutely stunning. So each painting, like if you just like flip through, it's so colorful because each painting is in here, and it leads the stories. Like it's just so amazing. And at the end, we have an epilogue of Dana. She has a story in here too of this amazing story from when she had cancer. So I should even put that in the back. We should add that because that's true. But overcoming cancer.
This is true. That's a big one. That's a big one.
Big C. But it's absolutely stunning. And my boyfriend Chris Tropin wrote the foreword. He's a psychotherapist, and it's from his perspective. It's from his perspective in the field, and he absolutely loves what he does. And to have his take on this as a whole, as a journey is truly something special. It's like it's amazing. And poems and quotes and things. Oh my, it's just so good. It's so good. It's so fucking good. So today we're going to be talking about I Am Teachable.
Open up to the page. What are you doing?
Open up to the page. I didn't bookmark it. So hang on.
It's right behind you if you wanted to just lean over. Oh, your chair's in front of it. Fuck it. No.
Oh, they probably can't see it in the thing.
Clearly, we don't edit.
It's red. It's red. We made it bright red. It looks so good. Hold on. Right there. Oh my God, it's so good. I can't wait to share this with you guys. I can't wait. Okay, here we go.
There it is. I see the ring. There it is. I am teachable.
Look at her. That's okay. So on the computer, which is my laptop, I go everywhere with my MacBook. I've got a little alien sticker that we call Roger. What up, Raj? And then Dana didn't want to go into the detail, but I have my going commando sticker.
Oh well, try to put going commando on a thing this big on a painting.
It works. That's why it says GC.
GC.
The only thing is we got to add the Pearl Jam sticker, Dane. That's I could do anything with that, but. So the I Am Teachable story is really about entrepreneurship, and not even necessarily entrepreneurship, but my story is focused on being a first-time founder and how newsflash, I'm a founder who doesn't know everything, and just all of the experiences I had with quitting my 6-figure job to pursue building a business that I had no experience in, fundraising, like all kinds of stuff, and how insecure and unworthy I felt in the beginning of all of it to kind of like to receive, like to just be like, I don't know. I was very good at saying I don't know how to do something, but to feel like I could sit at the big kids table, that was what really for me was the biggest lesson that I learned in all of that, was that hell yeah, I deserve a seat just because I don't know what's going on. Like, put me in, coach. Right. And that's kind of, Dana, that's why I have been such a model student of yours, if you will, because I am all in. Give me some good direction, and I am in, if it's the where I want to go. So, I remember when I was taking piano lessons. I love playing the piano. And I wanted to play like Moonlight Sonata, Beethoven. Like, I wanted to play like beautiful songs, classical music. That's what I wanted to learn. And my piano teacher handed me the sheet music for a Britney Spears song. Or it was Britney Spears, no, it was Belinda Carlisle. And I was like, I'm not playing this crap. And he was like, no, this is fundamental, blah, blah. I'm like, it's not fundamental, it's crap. And I wouldn't play it. And then I ended so I was not teachable in that moment.
I'm glad you brought up, because when I was thinking about when we're going to talk about this today, I'm like, where's my stance on this? So I'm glad you brought up the fact that you were this model student, because that's where my brain goes. As far as me being teachable, I'm only teachable by experience. Like don't fucking tell me what to do. That's just always how I've been. Don't fucking tell me what to do. Let me bump into shit a couple times and I'll figure it out. And I think that's what makes me such a good teacher, because my understanding of things comes from getting dirty and then being able to pass that on. But what I was thinking about with the whole being teachable, I was thinking about the people that I work with, and we're going to use you as an example. I've got a couple other people in my mind that all you have to do is say A, B, and C, and you're like, got it, and boom. And then there are those who are resistant. And it's those that are resistant. I don't want to say they're unteachable, but they're not ready. And when people aren't ready to learn anything, whether it be to be told or to have the experience, it gets harder and harder and harder. And one of the things that I thought about this morning about readiness was like kids in school. Like, when a teacher walks into a classroom, especially for younger kids, they don't just walk
into a bar.
Yeah. Teacher or rabbi, But when a teacher walks into a classroom, they don't just start talking to the kids or presenting things on the board. They make sure that there's a level of readiness. It could be as simple as an elementary school teacher saying something like, I've seen things, because I always taught high school, so I don't really I've never really done this myself, but like a teacher will walk in and the kids will all be like fucking around and they'll be like, who are you going to call? And all the kids will stop and look and be like, Ghostbusters. Now he's got their attention. Right?
Yes.
He's got their attention.
Yeah.
And then it could be like, okay, show me you're ready. Then they're sitting up straight. Their desks are cleared. Whatever it is, it's a showing of readiness.
Mm.
And we have that in adulthood. It's just not as obvious.
Yeah.
But you had a showing of readiness. It was as simple as, Dana, I don't know, but this is bad. I cry. I don't, it could be, but it could be, but even like there were certain things with you that I could tell you weren't ready, and I didn't even broach them until you showed readiness. You know what I mean? So with the reason I'm even bringing all this up is because so many of us, we beat ourselves up. We're so hard on ourselves because we can't get it right, or we're not able to learn or change things, but we have to look at our own readiness.
Yeah. So two things. There definitely have been times where you're like, do you want to hear this? Like I have something to say. Do you want to hear this? And I'll be like,
sorry,
you got a little hangy.
It's like,
sorry. I can recall like two specific examples of when you were like, okay, do you want to know? Do you want me to help you? And I was like, nope. Because I'm not.
I remember one. You were like, nope. And then by the end of the conversation, you're like, okay, go ahead. Punch me. Kill me, master.
Because I could feel myself. I could feel my whatever stuff I had, like my resistance, but it would be like, shame about it, wanting to do it myself, whatever the things are, like that I knew better, or I wanted to stew in the anger, whatever situation it was. I would not be able to hear what you had to say. And I didn't want you to waste your words on me because I didn't want to meet it with resistance, that's something that I learned to do, because otherwise, like in the beginning, I would be resistant to it, but I'd take it and then I'd kind of forget what you said, or I wouldn't integrate it, because it would not penetrate. That's what she said, would not penetrate my wall that I had up.
Yeah.
And that's been a big thing. So that the whole article about I Am Teachable, I remember because it was about joining the accelerator program. Remember? And it was
Propel program.
The Propel program. And an accelerator program, for those of you who don't know, because I didn't, is a program with a company that helps you get ready for investment, seeking investments from, investors and angels, funding, stuff like that, to get funding for a new business. And I knew nothing about business. So I joined this, Dana calls it the Propel program, which is really funny. And it was a lot of self-paced learning, which was awesome for me, because I was like, oh, what's a KPI? Like things that you need to know, like when you're, how to build a pitch deck, all this stuff. And it was awesome for me because I'm not a great student. I never was. That's why I'm an artist. And I too learn from experience. So the reason why I'm so good at what I do for a living, like the branding and the creative, is because I've done so much of it, not because I learned it in a book, So for me, like there was like this level of like, okay, taking the information in and then feeling like this little like insecure thing when I would meet with the fellow and like all the other people in my cohort. And I was like, these people all seemed like they had their shit together. They all knew what they were talking about. And I was just like, I don't know what you're talking Greek. Like, it's like when I was talking about like designing something and you'd be like, okay, I'll figure it out, And that was really difficult for me. But when I finally was like, and you helped me through that so much too, like with being organized and how to study. Oh my God, you told me get your color coded highlighters, write this down. Like you taught me how to study, but because I wanted to learn and I was ready. Once I got past okay, wait, these people are just like me. They just may know this, but they don't know all of this. You know what I mean? Once I could see that part of me, then it was easier to sit at the table. And then the fucking program went bankrupt while I was in the middle of it. Fuckers.
I know. I'll tell you something. This is so important. You were so worried about like what you didn't know and that you'd never done this before and like you didn't have the experience that they had or whatever it is. But in order for people to learn to be successful, they have to be willing, right? They have to be ready, and they have to have the desire to move forward, which means you'll do anything to learn. And not everybody has that drive, that passion, that fearlessness, right? Like not everybody has that. And just to go back what I was saying a little bit earlier about I've worked with people who are not ready And I've worked with people already. I just recently received an apology from somebody a year ago who not only was not ready, but had quite a bit to say about me because they were in such defensiveness. And then when they had their chance to learn on their own over the year, probably bumped into a couple of things, was like, I'm sorry. Yeah. I have somebody recently who just fell off that he just couldn't do it. Didn't even want to pay me.
Yeah. For
the work that I had done. Just not ready. And then I have people, and I know you're watching, and I know who you are. I know you know who you are. Who are ready on it. There's a couple of you that are ready on it, ready to go. So what you had and have, Angela, is that warrior spirit, that desire to move forward. It doesn't matter that you don't know shit. If I wanted to learn Japanese, I would learn it. Because that's how I roll. It doesn't matter that I know nothing about the language, right? Yeah. So when I sat in on one of your, I don't know why I sat in on it. You had like some sort of, it was something in the whole Propel thing, and I sat in on it. And this is me knowing that you were like, oh, I don't know, and I'm not worthy, and I'm scared, or whatever it is. And I sat in on it, and I can read these people. Yeah, and I'm like. I'm like, none of them have that magical component of desire and stick-to-itiveness that you have, that drive to succeed. Yeah. That is what makes somebody teachable, their desire to be taught.
Yeah. It's so true. It's so true. And I know that like, so I loved school. I hated USF. Well, you and I went to University of South Florida in Tampa, and I hated it because of my own personal experiences, but I was waffling I was like, I'm going to be a psychology major. I'm going to be a pre-med. I'm going to be whatever. I just knew what I wanted to do. But the minute I was at Farmingdale on Long Island, SUNY Farmingdale, I was in the visual communications program, and I was like, oh my God, everything was great. Even math was okay because I was doing like the hand lettering, learning how to letter, because my teacher at the time was like, you never know if the computers are going to go down and you're going to have to hand letter something. And I'm like, okay. It was awesome. So I loved it. And I graduated second in my class from practically failing out of USF because I was passionately involved with it. But so I've always felt the, the reward of doing the work. I've always felt that. Even like we were talking about when I was looking for a job, my first job out of college, like I told you, I don't know if I shared the story even in here, but I handmade resumes. I made like these beautiful resumes with like samples of my work, and it was all hand done. And I went through at the time there were the 4A's website. So it was the 4A's website, and it listed every single advertising agency like in New York City. And I went through the entire thing from A to Z, and I picked out like 20 agencies that seemed like a good fit for me. Right. And I went through the list, and I went and I hand delivered them to, I figured out who to call who would I give it to? And I hand delivered. It didn't mean that I met the people. It didn't mean that I met the creative director, because when you're in advertising, you have to go through HR before you can meet with the creative director to see if they like you and whatever. So I knew that wasn't going to happen, but I would take notes on, okay, they had a really nice entryway at the door, really good security guard, shitty alleyway to get to this place. Definitely don't want to work here. I had a notebook, and I wish I still had it, of all the places. And I made notes of those 20 resumes. One company offered me a job right out of the gate. I was like, wait, I'm still in college. Like it was crazy. I definitely didn't want to work there. One agency called me in for an interview, and another agency called me in for an interview, and I got a job at that agency. So I had proof that my hard work worked. So when it came time to personal development, like even like when I got sober, I was all in the beginning. They call it she's on a pink cloud, because you feel so good once you get sober and clear the gunk. And I just remained on that pink cloud because I did the steps as they were told to me. I fucking busted my ass to do them to the letter because I wanted to get well. And I knew that if I did it, I would. And here we are. So anytime that like when you started writing 10 Recs, and it was like you had talked to me up until that point, like about all the things that were in 10 Recs, and you were helping me in like a more, a bigger, broader way, just like being my friend and talking to me. And when you started feeding me like, okay, so I wrote this chapter, I wrote this rec, what do you think of this? And I was like, this is good shit. And I was like, okay, how do I do this? And then it became like, okay, how do I do this? How do I do this? What does it mean to be entrenched? Because I want to feel better. I know that if I do this work, I'll be amazing on the other side. And it is true. It is true. So that's always been in me. I don't think that's been ever taught to me. That's just always been a part of who I am.
No. That's just the way you are. But as I'm listening to you talk, I'm thinking about all the people that have something that they want to change in their life and like they don't know how. And I think I think the best way to start is to ask yourself, like, what do I want? Like, what do I want? And if I want to feel better, and then I'm trying to figure out how to feel better, just start seeking, see what draws you. It might be a book. It might be therapy. It might be going for walks outside, just something. What can I do in this moment? Right? It's 10 rack stuff, but something that you can do. And the real kicker to understand your own readiness to learn is to see where your resistance is. Yeah, I'm going to go for a walk every night after work. But I'm tired after work and after I ate dinner. Like immediately you just talk yourself out of it. Or you say you're going to do it. You do it once and then you don't do it a second time. But when you don't do it the second time, you then begin to feel shame because you didn't do what you said you were going to do. And now you're in this spiral, and not to get like all like woo, but your vibration drops with the shame. You're less likely to try to do it. So it's really about understanding, what am I ready for now? What can I do now? Well, I know I'm not going to walk after dinner. I know that because I know my patterns. I know where my strengths are, but I know I'll walk in the morning. So you give yourself an opportunity to do something that's doable, and then you build on that. I remember my New Year's resolution in 2004. 2004 was to meditate.
Dana, you remember what you had for breakfast when you were 3 years old.
Oh my God, I remember my New Year's resolution in 2008. Oh my God, dude, I remember what I was wearing. It's like a sicko. But 2004, I remember it was to meditate because I knew I wanted to bring more peace into my life. And I'm going to meditate. And I wound up taking up kickboxing. And because there's so much alike, right? But I wound up taking up kickboxing, and the kickboxing, it evolved into running and all these other things. And I started meditating, oh my God, in like 2019, 2017, 2018, 2019. So my readiness for that required like all of these other things to happen before I was truly ready to do what I had set my mind to. So I guess the message behind all that is like, don't beat yourself up. Figure out what you're ready for now. Be in that. And how do you know you're ready? Because you'll want to do it. You'll be driven to do it. The joy will be there. It'll feel good. And then you'll work your way to your next level of readiness. And that's how you learn. So Are you teachable? Teachable or being teachable comes in many, many different forms. Angela, you learn way differently than I learned.
Yes.
Way differently. You will follow the steps.
Yeah.
I'm like, I will just jump in the mud and play around, throw it on the wall and go, oh, there's a Rorschach. Fucking Rorschach the shit. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. It's a bat. Maybe I should go, write a book, whatever.
Yeah. No, and it's so funny because like to that logic, I should be a really good baker. But I'm like you, like we love cooking. Like, throw a little of this in, throw a little of that in. And that's like the cooking part. They know that then. And Rob is so good at baking because he'll be like, okay, measure
follow
perfectly.
Directions.
Yeah. And I can't bake. I make a banana bread that's killer, as you know.
Yeah.
It's really fucking good. And I do follow an ingredient, but I got my thing going on with that. But I am more of, like throwing it in and mixing it. But for me, it truly is about the experiences. Like I can follow the letter and I can understand it by getting some direction. Like you'll be like, okay, here's how you not become entrenched in your emotions. Do X, do A, B, C, D. Like, okay, what can I do in this moment to be more content? Okay, why am I not doing that? So I can follow those things. But when I actually, it's when I'm in practice, like when I'm trying to experience the whole thing, like for me right now, I know I need to work out. I know I want to work out. I want to go snowboarding this season. It's been a very, very long time. Chris is a skier, so I'm super excited that it's going to be a thing. And I need to build up my core muscles and my leg muscles because I have been sedentary for a very long time. However, I am only being driven to sit in the sauna. Like that's all I want to do. I have a sauna in my place.
That's what you're ready for.
That's what I'm ready for, is just to sit, to detox, to like, that's my quiet. So every chance I get, I walk right past the gym and I sit in the sauna. And that's what I choose to do because that's what feels good. That's what my soul is telling me to do. I know the strengthening will come when it's necessary and when it's needed. And I'm not, I'm not going to beat myself up because I'm not doing it, because I'm making a choice. Like, this is what I have. This is the time I have. This is what feels good right now. This is like, I'm getting my time. I'm meditating. I'm detoxing. I'm releasing. And it just feels so good. I love heat.
and that's what it comes down to. It comes down to just being kind to ourselves and recognizing that level of readiness. Like, I started stretching and just doing like simple little floor stuff, and now like it has evolved because because I've grown out. Instead of being like, I'm going to run 20 miles and then like walk a half a mile and be like, fuck this. Yeah. So it's about knowing what we're ready for. But if you don't, can I read something to you really quickly?
Yeah.
So I wrote something the other day. I just pulled it up on my screen when you were talking, that I just kind of farted it out. So I just want you to know that it's not edited. So I'm going to stumble on it a little bit.
Is this a piece that's for the new book?
It's for the new book. Yeah. I just was inspired and I was like, blah, 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 and then I just left it. But the reason I'm bringing it up is because I think that this is really important. You were saying, yeah, if I'm given direction, I'll follow the direction, but I have to experience it in order to like truly integrate it. And that really is a level of teaching, of learning. And this I wrote about, it's about knowledge versus wisdom.
Okay.
And so I wrote this down. Okay. Again, not edited. That's my disclaimer. Okay. All right. Okay. People talk about the difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is something that you learn from a book, and wisdom is something that you gain from experience. But if you go another step, the knowledge that we gain is important because the more knowledge we have, the more stuff we know, the easier it is to navigate the world around us. But the knowledge is processed through the brain. The wisdom is processed through the heart. And the wisdom comes from having experiences, learning the depth of those experiences, and it becomes imprinted on your soul. But when the heart is closed and we live in fear and we don't allow ourselves to have experiences for fear of fill in the blank, we then don't gain the wisdom. And when we have that wisdom, we're living through the heart, or by living through the heart, we gain the wisdom. So the heart is the most important thing. It is our connection to everyone.
Oh, that's really good.
But it makes sense. And it's true to what you just said. You could tell me, do A, do B. I always skip that part. And I think that's just because I'm a dick. Like, I don't think that there's anything more than me just being like, fuck you, I got that. Like, I think that's just the nature of who I am. But I could follow the steps of like 10 recs of A, B, and C till I'm blue in the face. But if I'm not able to apply it to my experience and then integrate what I've learned through that experience, it's just half learning. Let's just, like in the classroom, I could give math problems if I'm giving a homework, but if you can't take 2 + 2 is 4 and you don't understand that 2 apples and 2 apples is 4 apples and have the experience of dealing apples with somebody, it's never going to get in there completely. And then you don't have the wisdom to bring to others.
Yeah. It's like fucking calculus. Cosines and shit, because I learned it in high school. When Maddie was doing it, I was like, I don't even remember. Because I learned it. I learned all the formulas. I barely did well, but I learned it. And because it was something that I never, yes, and your coffee cup, I'll fix that.
Oh, sorry.
She makes noises with her coffee cup. It's an editing nightmare.
That's what I put on the thing.
Because I never integrated, I never needed calculus in my life. It was never a part of what I did. I completely forgot it, but I'll never forget like the 80s song lyrics that I haven't heard in like 30 years. And I'm like jamming out to Reno. It's like, her name is Rio and she knows. So, like it's one of those things that, yeah. So for me, it's about the integration. Like I can't just learn. Yeah. I can't just learn. So I think that's good way to wrap this sucker up.
Yeah. And I just want to remind everybody as we close out that opportunities to learn, like I just don't want anybody beating themselves up that they missed an opportunity or they want to be ready here and they're ready here. Dude, the opportunities to learn are like buses. It's sometimes the bus gets a little bit bigger and badder. Sometimes the bus hits you. You got to just say it. Sometimes, but they're like buses. So if you are in this moment and you're not ready to sit down and meditate, then do what you're ready to do. That will come later, and that goes for all things.
Yes. And the other thing I forgot that I wanted to focus on, mention in what you wrote, which is brilliant. I think that we have done so much talk about fear and the spectrum of vibration, if you will. Like Dana and I are operating in this space where we're very content, very happy, very peaceful, that like there's very little fear, much less on yours. Maybe I'm like, I have like 10% fear left. I'm very much resonating in this beautiful space. But when you have a lot of fear about something, and you have the experience, the fear clouds everything that you could be integrating from the experience. Like right now, there's, the election's coming up. Everybody's freaking out about the election. So you're having other experiences going on in your life that need attention, like maybe a relationship with a family member or whatever that's stressful because this is taken over. So if you kind of look at that and just really, I just want you to step back and focus inward again. And try not to let the fear of the outside world cloud who you are, because it doesn't allow you to have those experiences and to integrate the things that you need to integrate to grow. Because every experience happens for you, not to you. Everything in your life is happening for you. Yeah. Even if it's a smile from a random person or someone driving slow in the left lane, it is an experience for you. So if you're clouded by fear of other things that are outside of you, financial insecurity, political unrest, whatever it might be, you're not able to say to that experience, why am I getting frustrated with this guy in the left lane? He's just doing his thing. I'm doing my thing. Why is this bothering me so much? Like when you can do those kinds of questions, you can overcome whatever that bullshit is, you know?
Yeah. Oh my God. Angela, so well said. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, Dana, just keep your mouth shut, but I have to add another piece to it. I have to. But it's so important. That's why doing this work is so important, because the outside world is always going to be chaotic. But when you do this work on yourself, you no longer align with that chaos. You no longer align with it. So it becomes like, okay, yeah, there's a thing here, and a volcano. Oh, there's a hurricane. Dude, I had 2 hurricanes coming to Florida back to back, and people were concerned at my lack of concern. But I was like, I'll do what I can to protect myself and my family. And when it comes, then I'll handle the aftermath. But I don't align with the fear of, oh my God, what could possibly happen? I align with the handling the cleanup after it does happen.
Right.
So align yourself, and this stuff the guy in the left lane, you won't even notice him, much less wonder why he irks you.
Exactly.
Okay. Now we're done.
Now we're done. Okay. Last thing I'm going to talk about the, all right. So everybody go to phenom-publishing.com and subscribe to the Phenom Readers Club, because that is where we're doing all of our communicating, all of our chit chatting with you guys. And we have some really, really exciting stuff planned for you guys, like super exciting, long time. Oh my God. It's so great. We send out 2 emails a month. So there's no crazy marketing. And the first email, we talk about the book that we're celebrating for the month, which is one of our published works. This month, we have been celebrating A Woman's Journey, which is Dana's beautiful anthology of all of her art.
Will you put up pictures?
I'll put up pictures. Yeah. So I'll put up pictures. I got the cover. And if you go to phenom-publishing.com, there's a way to click on it. We've got some spreads that you could pick and a way to buy it. It's absolutely stunning. And if you buy we have a limited print run that we've done. So if you buy it in this limited print run, you can get a signed copy by Dana. So it's stunning. It's a beautiful gift for everybody. We're going to be doing information about I Am the Captain. This is going to be a pre-sale, probably starting in a couple weeks. So excited. And then we have, our book of the month for November is Anne Marie's Project Aura, Exchanges with the Astral. It is magical. It's so good. It's so magical. And we have such an exciting offer for all of our Phenom readers. So, I mean, it is beyond anything that any publisher has ever offered you. I can guarantee that.
Yes.
Yes. And then we're producing Dana's created 2 children's books. This one's called Me You Ubuntu, and right now it's soft cover, but we're probably going to do a hardcover and make it more colorful.
We have to do a hardcover.
This is our proof copy. That's why it's here. But it is absolutely
just show them
amazing.
one picture.
Oh my god, it's so good! It's so good! It's so good! Look at
the one where she's
oh, where she's dragging. Oh my god, I love this so much. Look at this. Look at this. So we have this one, and then she has My New Brain, which is the second one that we're going to be putting as soon as this one's ready. And then, so we're going to be offering these as a bundle for Christmas for kids, and with sticker sheets and stuff like that as a little holiday present. So that's going to be in December. But it is so exciting. We are just churning out work. Dana's writing her 3rd book of the trilogy. So we've got 10 Recommendments for Personal Empowerment, which is the first book. The second book is Beyond the 10, Decoding the Woo-Woo. And the 3rd book is called, so we're going to stick with it, The Woo Is You, right?
The Woo Is You.
The Woo Is You. And so we're going to have that trilogy for you guys. Oh my God, so good, so good, so good. And then I am going to work. I have a project in my head. Now that these projects are done, I have a project in my head that I'm super freaking excited about. I'm going to get Chris Malazewski and Hail Hail Auctions involved, and it has to do with Pearl Jam. So it's going to be really exciting. So we just have a lot of stuff, great stuff that we're going on. And all we want to do is bring all this beautiful work to you guys. Like, none of this is for naught. It's not just light reading. It is stuff that is anecdotal. It is empowering. It is, we can feel connected as a human. You know, the cavemen shared stories. This is how they connected with each other. And that's all Dana and I do, is just like sharing stories. It's not written by AI. We're not bringing in any kind of like, you know, it's like, this is as real as it can get. And that's why we're producing these, because we want them to be as authentically from us as possible. So this is all of our stink. I mean, we're not putting something like this or A Woman's Journey on Amazon and having them do it. Like, that whole thing. No.
Okay. Let's wrap it up, kid.
I'm excited about our work. Anyway.
No, you're just like, yeah, fuck Amazon and fuck AI and fuck you.
Yeah, seriously. All right. So fuck all them. And with that, stay fresh, cheese bags.
Stay fresh, cheese bags.
Peace out.